Who are we? Poker chips or giants? Genius in the bloodstream of the planets? No physicists, no lyricists exist. Just pygmies and poets.
My position in life is in like my job.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say my job defines me, no.
I rather it didn't, but unfortunately to a large extent it does.
No,
Why not?
that I cannot answer.
Yes, to a large degree, because it takes up almost all my time. And if I think about myself, a lot of me is heartbreak with you guys and then celebration with your successes. So it definitely does.
I feel that I more define my position in life. I've chosen the direction that I've taken my life, so I think that I define it.
I don't know.
Independent of our works, the epic vaccinated us like smallpox. Flabbergastingly, who are you? We're as worn out as the racetracks.
We learn so many things the hard way, and that's what helps us to make better choices in the future. So what I've learned, especially, in the college applications and all that kind of thing, helps me to help you guys today.
Well, they're like stepping stones that lead down the path of where I am and kind of set the direction for where I plan to go.
My past experiences reflect and influence my life today. Well, hopefully I've learned from all these experiences, and I've learned from what works and what doesn't work. I've learned and set new goals for myself. Obviously, when I was young, I had different goals. I wanted to be rich and famous and successful, and as I got older, my goals got a little more realistic and things that I truly gave me passion and gave me focus in life. So yeah, past experiences definitely shape us.
I think that my past experiences greatly influence who I am, because everything that I've done up to now has shaped and molded who I am.
Who are you? Who are you? Then suddenly, no? On Venus, an overcoat's irritating. Starlings strive their best to crow, architects to be poet creators.
That's a good question. Yes, I was once married and then it ended, and so I went from a wife to an ex-wife, and that was a horrible experience, and it really did its damage.
Have I ever been someone or something and it suddenly
you're
I'm
just
not?
not.
Well, there was a time when I was in my 20s, and believe it or not, that's a huge adjustment when you go from being 20 to 29 to 30. Mentally, it changes you, because suddenly you're when you're in your 20s, and you guys being teenagers, you guys are thinking to yourself, the world and possibilities are endless. And I still felt that way into my 20s, but suddenly you wake up one day and you look at your driver's license and it says 30, and you got to think to yourself, man, like, I'm probably not going to play in the NBA. I'm probably not going to be in the NFL. A little too late to start that rock and roll career. So suddenly all this world that seemed so like infinite possibilities, suddenly you realize, you know what? Some of these possibilities probably aren't realistic anymore for me. So yeah, in some ways, that you woke up one day and you're something else. Your identity does change, yes.
In thawing their palms, poetesses run to be peddlers. But what about you? What month is it? You aim at the stars but sweep the puddles. School finished with, pigtails cut, become a salesgirl. Then chucked that.
Yes, I believe we learn more from failure than we do from success.
They do a lot right now, because with teaching, you can do 100 things right one day, but you always have that one thing that you did wrong. So this job has been the most difficult to not feel like a failure for me, because 99% right, but that 1% wrong, and then you go home and you think, oh, I wish I could do that over, or I had done that differently. It's kind of hard.
Yes, definitely.
But between Stelezhnikov kiosks, as if playing it, panting and puffing, you stand, a deer, a tigress, a dimwit.
Ooh, I would probably put myself in the lion category, which I'm sure everybody, mentally thinks you're lion. But sure, there are situations and times where I think we're all kind of deers as well. When we get into a room and we, what do they say when you're at a poker table? If you can't spot the sucker sitting at the table, you're the sucker. That's kind of how you are sometimes. When you walk into a room full of people, when I'm out here teaching, I have a college degree. I know I'm smarter, than the kids in that classroom. But if I were to walk into a room full of doctors and people with their master's degrees and lawyers, I would probably become a deer quite quickly. I'm not going to try to go in there and run that room. So I guess it's very situational. We all can be lions and deers from time to time. Hopefully I strive to be a lion.
I would say I am bold. I suppose that would make me a lion.
I am a timid lion. I'm very much bold. I'm known for problem solving and all that kind of thing, but I don't like to just run over everyone all the time.
I'm more shy.
So you're more of a deer?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, it depends on what aspect of my life we're talking about. When I'm with my students, I think I can be a pretty good lion most of the time, but there's moments when you have to be soft, and so in my private life, I'm more a monkey than any of those, but probably more a deer.
Who are you? Who? You look with longing into books, windows, but where are you meanwhile? You recline as to a telescope, to masculine eyes watching immobile.
I'm doing what I love to do. I would like to do some writing. I think that finances limit a lot on some of what I would do, but mostly I'm doing what I want to do.
I want to be a mermaid.
A mermaid? That's fun.
Currently, I would say one of my dreams is to be a published author, and I am working with every possible thing that I have to do that.
Well, I would still like to find Mr. Right and have a family, even though I'm in my 50s. Or at this point, maybe even Mr. Mediocre.
I wander with you, Vera Vega, for midst an avalanche let loose, I am too an abominable snowman, absolutely elusive.
I don't feel insignificant. I was just brought up in a family that was loving. I have my own family. I have all of you guys.
Aww.
So I don't feel insignificant. Times of turmoil, I just have to stop and breathe and just say one thing at a time and just remember to enjoy everything and everybody.
Yes, I mean, from time to time, we've all felt very insignificant, especially when you put forth effort into something that doesn't work out the way you planned. Like I said, when I was running a bank and I would try some new strategy that I thought was really going to motivate all my employees, and then it fell flat on its face, and man, I remember there being moments, where I reflected. I said, am I smart enough to be doing what I'm doing? Did these people put their trust in me, their faith in me to pull off this task? And I failed. And am I going to continue to fail? Am I capable of this success? And so, going back to what you talk about from your failures, it's where you learn from those failures. And that's where you try not to let it limit you and your potential.
Yes, I do sometimes feel insignificant. What was the second question?
What do you do in times of turmoil?
I rely on my family and my colleagues to help support me. What was the last question?
Does this affect your identity?
I don't think so.
No, I don't feel insignificant because I know I'm a child of God. And that's where I turn whenever I need anything. And that's what makes my life sweet.
Who am I?
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 Who am I?